Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Live Live here on Wednesday, September 24th. This is episode 11, and we're really excited to welcome Gregg Cantor from Murray Lampert out in San Diego, California. Thanks for being here, Greg.
Well, thanks for having me on, Dave.
I have to start with, you are the president CEO of Murray Lampert, and your name is Gregg Cantor, which is neither Murray nor Lampert. Let's discuss that. So yeah.
Excellent question, and it's asked all the time. So Murray Lampert, Murray first name Lampert, was my grandfather who started the business in 1975.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool. All right. So, and that, I wanted to dig into that a little bit because it is officially your 50th anniversary year, right? You guys have
That's
been doing
correct.
this for 50 years. And you're described as a fourth generation company. So this has been in the family throughout. Can you kind of give us the origin story and how that evolved? And something had to be going right for you to all stay in it, right?
And
Oh, yep. You frozen a little bit, Greg. No. Greg, can you hear me? Now we're having technical difficulty. He's back. These are the glitches of a live show. Greg, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're back.
Okay. So in 1975, my grandfather started Murray Lampert Home Improvements, it was called at that time. And he came from, originally the furniture business. And then he was general manager of one of the bigger home remodeling firms in San Diego. And they wanted him to take over the company, and he decided to start fresh with his own license in 1975 out of an apartment.
Awesome. That's kind of, I don't even know how far back like the oldest remodeling companies go, right? Because it wasn't a thing in the 50s, I don't think, or the 30s.
Not so much. And we are probably the oldest of our type in San Diego.
Okay. Well,
I mean, there's some smaller general contractors that might be older than us, but design build of our size and scope, we're probably the largest.
Well, it's pretty amazing.
I mean, the oldest, not the largest.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing to think just how much San Diego has changed in 50 years, right? The growth that you guys have seen there.
Have you been here before?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favorite cities. I don't know why everybody doesn't live there, but at times I'm sure you feel like everybody lives there.
Well, there's been a lot of people that have moved out, and I'm a native, which is rare and rare every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you get so you're fourth generation. So I was saying before, to keep this thing going for 50 years and keep it in the family is a pretty special thing in this industry for sure. So something had to be going right. What kind of kept you guys all going? Like, did you just grow up in it? Your dad grew up in it? What's kind of the
so my grandfather really didn't even know how to swing a hammer. He was more a marketing guy. And it skipped my mom because it's my mom's side of the family. And then I got involved very early on when I was in high school. So I learned from the ground up.
And then your kids are involved as well too, right?
Well, so then my daughter went to Miami of Ohio and ended up getting an architecture degree, and the planets were in alignment, and she came back to San Diego, and she eventually took over design and actually did she cut her side, but now she's VP of operations.
Awesome. And then your wife is involved too, right?
Our kids eventually was self-taught QuickBooks, and now she's our CFO.
So what does Thanksgiving dinner look like? You guys just talk a whole bunch of business?
We're really good about at family events. And actually, my granddaughter had her 1 year birthday on Sunday, and there was no business at all talked about for the whole weekend.
Is there, and is that just a function of you guys just being cognizant of that, and because you're so involved in the business on a daily basis? Is it because things are good? Is it because things are bad? Is it just that's just how you guys operate?
I mean, we live it every day, so we have to draw the line, and we have to have downtime and enjoy our family. Need to after hours.
Yeah, and we had Kimberly Canada on last week, and we kind of talked about that, right? Kind of the husband and wife um, ownership team, and she said, really similar things. That's something that they have to just be careful about, is making sure they're able to separate work and personal life, right? So on the business front, how long have you been in charge there?
I've been president since 1989.
Oh wow!
And
what?
I mean, we have changed so much between then and now, and the business has changed so much since I originally took over too.
How so? I'm sure a
Just
lot.
our process, the complexity of the projects, technology, marketing. I mean, you name it. I mean, we went from being a fully print marketing company to no print at all.
Yeah, just all digital, and I guess other avenues, right? Just kind of lead nurturing, things of that
Yeah,
nature.
yeah, and I mean that's one thing that I've always really enjoyed and embraced: marketing and technology. Um, and that's something that we've always been ahead of the curve on, which proved out to be very valuable when we went through the pandemic, because we had to pivot and do a lot of virtual meetings, which will never replace face to face, but it was super valuable. And I think that was a big part of our growth.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen a pretty major shift to virtual calls. I mean, I live in North Carolina, and most of our work is in Chicago. So 99.9% of what we do starts with a virtual call at least, right? So how, and I guess to preface that question, are you doing sales, or do you have salespeople?
So I sort of oversee sales, but I'm not doing as much in the field sales as I have in the past, but I do a lot of the pre-qualification calls, um, helping our project consultants sort of package our presentations, and just being available to meet clients, and just from that standpoint, not direct sales.
Okay. And then do you mind kind of walking us through what the sales process looks like? I'm kind of curious from lead intake on.
So we have a really good process of either prospects can go to our website and set up a appointment on a calendar, or they call in, and we listen and we discuss and make sure that it's a mutual fit, that we're the right company for them and they're the right type of project for us. And that's very often, I mean, most of our calls turn out to be our customers because of the way we market and target. And so the first touch is face to face on the job site, where our project consultant listens to the needs of the homeowner. And there's a lot of different demographics of people that we work with, from couples to growing families to retirees. Sometimes multi-generational, where 3 families are living in one dwelling or one parcel with, multiple dwellings. But so at the first meeting, we gather all the information and we try to get an investment amount that the people are comfortable with and comfortable sharing with us. And then we do a recap and have a call as a follow-up with the detailed recap of the meeting, their goals, a price range, including all fixtures and finishes.
Okay.
So then if they're comfortable with that basically range, and our goal is to target, in that range, to design within that range, then we enter into a design agreement, which is a design retainer. And that's where it gets fun, because our team goes out and measures. We fly the drone to get topography and roof lines and all that good stuff. And then we start design development, which starts with modeling the as-built and then creating the first design that we present, usually in person, unless someone's, doesn't live here, in our design studio.
And when you guys present that, do you present one concept or do you present options?
Typically, we present one concept, which is not only a space plan, but a 3D model, fully working, where we can walk people through it inside and out. We can change the time of day. We can change the lighting. It's really cool, and I know you're full aware of the capabilities of design, and people just love to be able to visualize.
Oh yeah. No, the visualization aspects are one of a really, really valuable tool. And the way I always describe it to prospects when we're first talking to them is, first of all, I think our young designer culture is more creative designing 3-dimensionally. Where if you go to, and I was kind of the fringe generation, so I graduated in 2003 from architecture school. So we were kind of between technology and hand drawing.
Right.
And
Yep.
the generation right before our group that came out of school, everything was kind of hand drawn, is how they found that creativity and solved problems. They were just so used to visualizing it that way. But now the 3D modeling tools are really what we use to generate ideas and test ideas quickly. And so in some ways that presentation, that visualization is really just a byproduct of the process, right? So it's pretty fluid.
Well, and isn't it interesting, because I'm sure you remember when people were really impressed when an architect or designer could hand sketch something.
Absolutely.
And it's still, I still think there's a value to that, especially when you're kind of on the fly. But now with the 3D part of it, and that was something I wanted to cover, is we really graduated from, now that you brought up the whole hand drawing, in a short amount of time, we went from hand drawn plans to 2D CAD plans to chief architect, and then we outgrew chief architect and moved on to Revit, which was a huge learning curve, as you know. Yeah. And at the same time, we basically weaned our interior designers of using SketchUp, because I just thought the SketchUp drawings kind of sucked. And so our process is, we model it, we get the architectural where it needs to be, the space plan, finalize the numbers, enter into a contract, and then the interior designer starts making selections and putting those selections into the model. So our clients are seeing the actual finishes and fixtures that are chosen. And if they don't like a color or don't like something, super easy to change.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty cool. Now it's a slippery slope though too, that we found is, there's a value in the old hand drawing, which is you can have a level of ambiguity, right? The fatter the marker, the less detailed it needs to be.
We learned the hard way on that one too.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really easy, and we kind of discussed this, and I don't know if anyone from our team is listening, but we kind of got into a design team discussion on the use of wallpaper in our renderings, because it was getting a little, in my opinion, it was getting a little out of control. It was like, we're just wallpapering everything, so now it's just all this texture, right? And then where does it end, right?
Well, yeah, and then people take it literally too, and we've had that problem, even though there's a disclaimer on our plan sets about, you know, that this is just a representation. But so we eventually had to simple it down to just sort of a ray trace sketch, and not have, we were putting full color renderings on our cover sheet, but people looked at it and took it literally. And I won't even get into the problems that caused.
Well, yeah, it's kind of, and we don't really have, you know, a SOP for the LOD, level of detail, is kind of the word in the design community, like how far you go, like what is the standard, and it's kind of a gray area. It really just depends on, you know, if it's really important to show the tile pattern, because that tile pattern in the rendering is such an important part of the design, then let's do it. Otherwise, let's make it simpler and more ambiguous and focus on the other pieces that matter, like the cabinetry color or something like that. But it's always going to be impossible to match colors because you print them a different screen.
Yeah, the lighting, and that's a challenge no matter what. But I mean, we are very detailed in our interior design package with tile layouts and everything, but we still have site walks with the tile installer to make sure that everything works in the field, because sometimes it's on paper, but it doesn't lay out in the field that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well, and you know, and somewhat related to this and the origin story. So when, I mean, we don't have to say the exact year, but like at what point in the evolution of Murray Lampert did you start introducing this design build model?
Well, we always did design build, but you'll laugh. I could share with you sometime, but we had this threefold, it was called the job survey, and it had a spreadsheet on it with columns, and then it had a grid design on the other pages. And our salesmen, which we called them salesmen back then, that we don't call our project consultant salesmen, but they would go out, measure, draw the sketch, draw the design by hand, price it out on the, you know, on the sheet, and quote it on the spot, sometimes 3 in a day. And that was the design build process, really, which isn't really design build.
Well, and you know, give me context, like what year, what kind of decade was this? Was this the 90s?
This was from 75 till the probably late 80s. And so, the 90s is when it started to turn.
Well, I'd be curious, like if you could chart that evolution and the number of options that were available then, because back then it was probably sheet vinyl flooring in the kitchen, right?
Very simple, yeah.
Four options, right? 4 different colors. It was way easier to kind of do a square foot or a linear foot of cabinetry, because the cabinet was a cabinet that had 2 doors and a shelf, two doors and a shelf inside of it.
Right.
No accessories. A countertop was just Formica.
Yeah, right? And so that just leads me to say, because I really learned the business as a superintendent, and my job as a superintendent was to cost jobs. And when Excel became a thing, actually before Excel, there was some other Microsoft product. I forgot what it was called, but I created a spreadsheet, and I would do a takeoff and price a project, and no one took more than an hour, and I would be within 5% on every single project that I estimated. Now that's impossible.
It's not possible, right?
Yeah.
And I just started thinking about this. Like, you dig in, they didn't even have can lights back then, right? There was one big round light in the middle of the kitchen. That was it. There's no under cabinet lighting. It is as straightforward of a spreadsheet as you can possibly be. And now, you know, thinking about the range of options and customization and really cool things and really special things to make our lives more convenient and more enjoyable and are expansive. And on that note, and you guys in design build, how far do you allow people to go into the layers of customization, or do you have kind of set finished packages? How is it 100% custom? Is it
It's 100% custom, but we've started developing a express that we might roll out, but
Okay.
it's just going to depend on, because I think everyone knows it slowed down a bit. It's actually started to pick up the third quarter and hopefully the fourth quarter, but we were starting to think outside the box to maybe offer some more express, compress down the design development and interior design process and come up with, A, B, C, D options. We may still do that, but I'm feeling like things are going to continue to pick up and we won't need to do that. But yeah, it's fully custom. And the trick though is we have a very low rate of change orders. It's mostly client driven, the changes.
Sure.
And in the front end of it, when you're in design development and getting to the contract, we have to really help keep our customers on the rails so they don't add things that just blow the budget out of shape.
Absolutely. And again, with the levels of customization, it's not as simple as changing even a light fixture, right? Like
Right.
if you're change the light fixture in a bathroom that was a sconce, and now where that's placed relative to the ceiling, like there's just a billion different nuances that we have to deal with, right? We have to get that nailed down on the front end, which to your original point is, a challenge in maintaining the continuity of work, right? Because the cycle time is so long. So we've introduced, I wouldn't call it express, we call it live light, and it's projects that are a little bit more defined and ready to go.
Yes.
And I love the express idea. I've always had the dream of, we've built the Model S, right, or the Roadster using a Tesla
Right.
metaphor. You start with that. That's big, complicated, expensive, really special. And then from everything we learned from that, now we can build the Model 3, right? And we have a brand that's built at a higher level on an S and a Roadster. You can't start with a 3. But my concern is always with, probably like learning from the home building industry, is that there's no such thing as semi-custom. It's like being like a little bit pregnant. Like as soon as you break the rules, it's custom. So what happens when they're in that express and you have these 4 options to choose from, and they're like, well, I don't really like any of those. I want to do this. And then all of a sudden you're back to where you started. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the predicament.
Right.
And another challenge is that we don't put profit on all of our line items, fixtures and finishes. We arrange purchases for our clients, but we want our customers to buy through our sources because we know the quality of our sources. And we do not want people going to the big box stores and buying that product because it's inferior. And we don't want to be responsible for the problems that come with it, the installation, the callbacks. And so that can be a bit challenging.
Yeah, 100% agree, right? Let us control that. If we're going to offer a warranty, we want to have our, Ferguson rep or Direct Kohler rep or whoever else be able to help solve that.
And that's what consumers don't understand, is that we get personalized service as a professional, as a contractor, design build. We get that support during and after the sale. Whereas, if you buy at a big box store, then they'll just tell you to put it back in the box and return it. We can't mess with that.
Yeah. And in terms of kind of your project mix, so what's kind of considered your smallest project size cost wise, and what would you consider kind of your highest cost or price?
A master bathroom remodel is probably there, or kitchen remodel, simple pull and replace kitchen remodel in the $100,000 to $150,000 range. Our biggest project currently is a 4-unit that was a duplex that we did a major renovation. Basically, it's from the ground up, but we left one wall. That's about a $3 million project.
So that's a pretty big range. Now it's California, so California has all of its own rules, and including the deposits that are allowed, right?
Yeah,
$1,000
or 10% or $1,000, whichever is less.
Oh yeah, so you get your $1,000, the secure
Is the
materials
max
for the project.
Yeah.
But so going from a $3 million to $150,000 project, is the process the same for that range of project types?
It pretty much is the same, but that's why we're talking about potentially in that $100,000 to maybe $250,000 range, coming up with an express option.
Right. That's something that we've always looked into solving too, right? Because the smaller the project, the process is a lot of time and is a lot of cost, right? And
Right.
so we've way back in the day, right? Like 5 years ago, we don't do this stuff anymore. We say, well, we can do this smaller project and we can just reduce the time that we need in the process. And it's a failure because it doesn't work. It needs a different process. You can't just say,
Exactly.
this normally takes an hour, but it's smaller, so it's going to take 10 minutes. It doesn't work like that. We have to reinvent whether or not that piece of the process just needs to be completely different or go away, and if that's possible. We haven't totally solved that yet, but our LivLive process was really trying to address that, to say, you know, we can take out these pieces because the project's a little bit more known, but it's a whole new process, right?
Well, and I'll tell you what worries me about that is if you get too many of those express projects, and then you don't have the people to properly manage the complicated ones, and I don't want to just keep hiring. I mean, I want to try to stay pretty much the size we are, and so that is kind of a balancing act,
Yeah, how many people are you guys?
21.
Cool. And you guys, do you have people, workers in the field, or you guys use all subcontractors, or a mix?
Currently, we use all subs. We've had like finished carpenters before, but now right now we have a couple of different licensed contractors that do trim packages, and that works out really well, and we have really good relationships, so it works out really well.
How's the San Diego labor force?
It's tight.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very loyal, and sometimes you have to live with certain trades that it is what it is, and you just have to manage them really hard.
Yeah.
And that's the other part that the consumer, that homeowners don't understand, is that that's a skill, and that is something that a design builder, a contractor can handle, and our customers don't see what we do, and they're not going through, having to make sure somebody shows up, or when they do something stupid and then we have to fix it. They don't usually see that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And a big part of, and we're kind of dealing with this, is we're doing projects in North Carolina, and have a smaller team here to help support that. Is it's for me such a big part of trades and subcontractors. When you have good ones that are just really good at what they do, is we just want to make their lives easy so that they can do what they do really well, right? So I mean, it's a balancing act. To your point, like, it would be nice if they were able to use email, but
Yes.
we'll get them there eventually. And if they need us to, if they needed to fax us something, right? If they're an incredible craftsman, like it just kind of is what it is, right? Maybe we can help train them up in email, or maybe that's just not that big of a deal, right?
Well, that's something that I want to tackle at some point. Is it would be nice if the majority of our trades used Builder Trend, or if you're a Job Tread user, Job Tread, and I would say maybe not even 20% can do that, you know. And
yeah, I mean, there's ways that we can incentivize it too, right? Because it's making our lives more efficient.
yeah,
So
I want to have
pay,
trainings is what I'm thinking of doing,
yeah.
is just have trainings for the trades.
Yeah, payments, all that stuff. If we can just make their lives easier, make sure they have the information that they need. But at the end of the day, I mean, I went to the job site this morning, and there's drawings and everything, but I put blue tape on the trim on the outside of the house to tell them where the downspouts going. Right?
You have to make it dummy proof. Unfortunately, we post sheets of plans up. We post instructions. We hide the permitted set of plans so somebody doesn't accidentally, because for us, I'm sure it is for you too, the permitted set of plans becomes obsolete very quick.
Absolutely. No, we had an addition under construction. I show up and the concrete guys holding the permit drawings. I'm like, no, it says not for construction all over it, right? Because there's different things on that. And then our issue for construction will show different relationship points where that concrete needs to be set.
Exactly. We only use the permitted set of plans when the inspector asks for it. And these days they rarely even ask for it, which is crazy. I don't know if it's because they have so many inspections that they just don't have time to check that close. But also, we've been doing this so long that the inspectors know that we don't cut corners. But sometimes that's scary, because I like the second set of eyes, because we're not perfect. We're humans.
Yeah, and we see more and more of them because everything's starting to finally be digital. Now in Chicago, we work in 45 different towns, and some of them are digital.
Wow.
Some of them we still submit paper, but a lot of them just open on the iPad, right? And then they know that is what's officially approved. And then you don't have to go through all the song and dance of making sure the one that's in the job box that has the dirt all over it, has a big red stamp and is officially the one that came out of the office, right? That no one's changing things on it. Like, that is what it is.
But I have to go back to what you said about making the trades successful, and it's our job because we want them to make money, but then we also want them to be loyal and treat us right.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I learned very late in my career, is that you think of customers as who you're working for, like who's the contract with, but customers are trade partners, vendors, city officials, your staff. Everybody's really a customer, and if you can cohabitate and make everybody happy, then you're successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't want them to ever have to do anything twice, right? We hate that.
No, because they don't make good money, and then we look bad in the end because we brought this trade partner onto the job, and it slows down our process so that it impacts our profitability. It's just a lose-lose.
And it's never as good the second time around. It just isn't.
Right. And then if the client sees that, then they're questioning you the whole time too.
And the good trades don't want to do something twice, even if they're getting paid for it.
Right.
The one, like the guy that says, yeah, fine, I'll do that, I'm getting paid for it anyway. You're like, come on. It's the guy that's like, yeah, of course I'll move it, but that kind of stinks. That's the one, because they're doing the work, they're taking the pride in it. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to redo some trim for whatever reason, or as your daughter, the architect, comes in and is like, let's just do it a little bit differently. It's not as good as we thought it was going to be. And it kind of stinks.
The other thing that we really try hard is to make everybody think about who's coming in behind instead of just thinking about themselves.
Right.
Because the best trade partners are the ones that leave the job in a better place for the next person.
Yeah, that's why I love drywallers that also paint. Right.
Yeah.
And then I like it when the when the trim carpenter knows the painter as well, because otherwise the painter is going to be like, why do they use such big nails? Like, I don't know. You know that guy, you know?
Right. We had a really good drywall and painting contractor, but he was so obnoxiously expensive, and it seems like he shouldn't have been because he's getting a bigger piece of the pie, but we just couldn't afford the numbers he was quoting us.
I can't figure out tile install. I don't. That seems to be the most expensive thing known to man. I think I should become a tile installer. It seems like it's pretty lucrative.
I'd say the two hardest ones are demolition and foundation,
Yeah,
concrete work.
concrete. Yeah, concrete and COVID just skyrocketed.
Oh,
It's like, can we just open a concrete company?
On that note, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say on that note, because we're already running a little bit long. I don't know that you're opening a concrete company, but I'm curious what's next for Murray Lampert. What are you guys, working on the next 5 years? Where are you going?
A succession plan for my daughter to take over. That's a big thing. I don't see me being out of it in 5 years, but I want her to be more in control, and she's ready to tackle it.
Cool.
So, and I have a big advantage because I went through it with my grandfather, and so I know how not to do it.
So how was that? You can't just throw that out there and not elaborate.
His planning just was not good, and he never taught me, and he never really he wasn't very transparent, and so I just kind of had to learn and be prepared. And then I learned the business side really once I took over, because he didn't teach me the business side. I mean, all I had was what I learned in college,
Yeah.
But luckily, I mean, I made some mistakes, but nothing major.
What did you study in college?
Business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I never had any business training whatsoever, which is I went into it. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I'm still here, but there's something to that. I have one more question, just because my team was talking about it the other day. This is a little bit more culture related, but are you guys do you have a big holiday party at Murray Lampert every year? What's your kind of big?
We have a holiday party every year, and we find a venue. But what I'm really excited about is because we're celebrating our 50th all year.
Oh yeah.
On Friday, we're having a trade and vendor event at a park in San Diego, and we expect well over 100 people, maybe 150. We have a jumpy, we have wood-fired pizza, we have adult drinks, we have Hawaiian shaved ice, and it should be a lot of fun. And even the chief building official is going to show up, which I was really excited about. That's
awesome. And how about, so is that for clients too?
We're doing a different one later in the year for clients.
Yeah.
We're probably having that at a brand new theater that just opened, and we're going to allow our clients to tour this new theater.
Cool. Yeah, at our 10-year, we did a client appreciation party. It was really fun. It's kind of something we wanted to do every year, but it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Yeah.
And we did like a cool thing where we had, we try to make it like a convention, right? Where you get the lanyard and you have all these badges. So we get like the referral, like people that referred us, we got like a referral badge.
Oh, that's really nice. That's a good idea.
Repeat clients got like another badge, so you I don't know. We try to have a little fun with it.
So we're having at the trade partner one, we're having a, why am I drawing a blank? Cornhole competition.
Cool.
And we're going to do like a pre-game, in-game, and post-game like video.
Nice.
So yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, I was curious on the holiday party. It sounds like you have a lot of other stuff going on, but what do you guys typically do for the holiday party, or what are you guys doing for that this year?
Don't know this year. We will do something, but last year we had it at an Italian restaurant that is in the neighborhood, and we just had our whole staff and their significant others. It was about 50 people. That's just,
Yeah.
our staff.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were going through, because we're growing, and it's getting harder and harder to have a place for a sit down dinner. Without, I mean, we've kind of rented out rooms and stuff before. It's just, in 13 years, that holiday party has always been like that benchmark institutional event.
Yeah.
And so we're just like thinking, well, maybe we do like past hors d'oeuvres and stuff, and then go do something afterwards. And it's like, no, we always do the sit down dinner. It's kind of a special thing, right?
Yeah, we talked to our team about, because we also talked about doing some event too together. We have done events like team building events, but the holiday party to me is more intimate, and you want to be able to visit with your staff and their significant others. And
yeah,
we used to do it at our house, but it just got to be too much to do. It's just so much work.
Yeah, and nowadays you got to plan a year ahead on those things anyway. So I'll keep you posted on ours. It sounds,
let me know.
It's coming along pretty well.
Cool.
And I want to hear all about your anniversary events. Wish I had a trip planned out to San Diego.
Well, if you ever do, let me know and we'll get together.
Heck yeah! So Greg, I appreciate you being here. If anybody wants to find you guys, what's the website, or what's the best place?
MurrayLampert.com. Or Google my name. It's super easy to find, but MurrayLampert.com is our website. We're all over social media, all over the web. And Dave, I really appreciate you inviting me. This was a lot of fun. You're a very smart guy, and I like kind of sharing that smartness.
No, I appreciate it. And, as I have smarter and smarter people on, like you, Greg, who are asking me like, what's the topic? I'm like, we're just going to roll with it. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But yeah, this is great. I think,
no, I think it's good, because I wasn't worried about it, because I know you never have a shortage of words. So
right. I always throw some sort of Tesla anecdote in there or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Awesome.
All
Greg,
right.
thanks again, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Take care. All right. Bye.